Last time on the Minus 20 podcast, our heroes win over the people of the 7th Ward by defeating the Van Brocklins. Later, Penn visits Serafina and reveals her alter ego, Kira. Bo Poncho is questioned by Inspector Falcone, who catches the Great Bleshy in a lie. What will the Axes do now that our heroes have thwarted them at every turn?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Minus 20 podcast. I'm Jay, your GM. I'm here with a delightful set of players who are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, our homebrew campaign, Vigilante, with me. So let's just go around the table. Holly, hi.
Hey everybody, I'm play Serafina.
John.
Hi, I play Marth.
James playing Bo Poncho.
Nate playing Shepard.
Diana playing Kira.
Ha! Ooh,
Jay playing the world.
I'm playing the world. As I breathe into this mic, I just remembered how terrible my breathing sounds when I edit this podcast.
None of them have to know that.
Well, they do now because I have just breathed funny again, which is going to annoy me. Maybe I'll leave the breathing in. Anyways, we're going to forego Bant a little bit because we're kind of in this interesting spot in the game. You guys had just defeated the Van Brocklins, the thugs, who had been invited back to the 7th Ward by the Axes to terrorize the people for daring to stand up to them. And, you got the crowd involved. People were very excited about the 7th Ward strong. I think that's kind of what you're going by now, yeah? 7th Ward strong. And you decided that you would disperse and then meet up back at the lair. So I want to go ahead and fast forward to the lair. But one of the things I want to sort of fast forward on as well is during the lair, you guys identified a bunch of magic items that had been sort of kicking around that you had picked up during the campaign. I want to talk about what you identified and what they are. We did it off screen, so I don't want to go too much. It's not so much fun to watch someone roll over and over again to identify this thing. But I think it's pretty cool, some of the stuff that you got. So let's start with, I believe, Bo. Did Bo get anything?
Yeah, Bo currently sitting with the Wolf Fang.
Oh, yeah.
The quick explanation is just that it adds damage to my trip. So a little bit more tripping, a little bit more sneaky vines coming down by people's feet coming forward. And also the Jade Cat, which is going to help me with Batmaning across the many tenements of the 7th Ward.
Perfect. Right, it reduces fall damage, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. How about Kira? What did Kira pick up?
Nothing recently. The only thing that I picked up was the shielding salve from the Axes battle, which is essentially a lotion that gives me the shield spell.
Nice. Oh, you get to slather it on yourself. It's kind of
and
like
it's made with essential
lotion.
oil, so I imagine it smells like lavender.
Yeah, no, for sure. How did Marth end up?
Well, let's see. Marth got Yold's rhinestone cape, which it helps you when you leap, high jump, or long jump, do better with your stealth checks for hiding and sneaking, which seems a little bit backwards for a rhinestone cape. But, I mean, whatever. And we had debate or in Minnesotan, like, no, you take it, for a cantrip deck. So I now have ended up with basically 5 random cantrips to be used at some later point in time. And then I got a +1 dagger, which is +1 dagger.
The cantrip pack is a set of 5 cards, and you pull it from it, and you envision whatever you want. That's it, and then it works. Kind of like Magic deck, I guess. Now, it's worth going into what the +1 dagger means. Those of you who played other systems may think that this is +1 to hit and damage. In Pathfinder, a +1 dagger is just +1 to hit. It's called because of a rune called the Potency Rune. And the way runes work in Pathfinder is there are these etchings you carve onto your blade or your weapon or armor that gives you a bonus. Once you have a potency rune, you can also have other kinds of rune. You can have a striking rune and you can have a property rune on your sword. So a striking rune doubles the dice of your damage, and then the property rune gives, you can pick up. There's all kinds of ones. I assume we'll run into some here. It's like a 2-step process to boost up the damage and then to hit. And you can transfer the rune from weapon to weapon. So if you don't want to keep it on this dagger, you can get it transferred to another weapon. However, I think we mentioned this before, you're going to have to find a blacksmith to do it who knows how to work with magical items.
And not tell everybody that you did that.
Right, because it may raise some suspicion that you have a very valuable dagger worth 35 gold, which is a lot of money in Pathfinder world. Awesome. What about Serafina? What did you end up with?
I have lethargy poison. That is a non-lethal poison that the victim eventually falls unconscious. And stage 1, they're slowed. And by stage 3, they're unconscious.
Nice. And a pretty high saving throw, too. I think it's DC 18.
Yep. DC 18 fortitude.
So nice high one for this low-level campaign. And then Shepherd.
Yeah, so Shepard's got a ring of discretion, which helps the token homeless guy walking around with a bastard sword and a suit of armor.
That old trope.
Yeah. It helps assuage a lot of potential curiosity about why the homeless guy is walking around with weapons and armor all of a sudden, especially after the events that have been happening in the ward lately. He also has Everlight Crystal, which is basically like a magical torch that helps him, the human, with no special vision, see in the dark. And then he also picked up a potency crystal, which Jay was talking about, the potency runes. The crystal is a consumable version that adds a +1 to attack and also increases the damage on the weapon by 2 damage dice. So it's kind of like if we know the stars aligned and we've got all the buffs and flanking and any other circumstance bonuses, he can spend an action to use that. And then
Actually, it's a free action.
you have to activate it.
Yeah, that's a free action. So in this case, it's a free action to activate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, excellent. So it is a consumable, so we have to kind of know that we're ready to blow something up, but
Yeah.
it should let him hit real hard
If
once.
only we had someone who critted a lot.
Yeah. Right. I should mention the consumable means use it once. So in this case, the potency crystal, you activate at the beginning of your turn. At the end of the turn, it vanishes into the ether or whatever. It turns into just a harmless glass bauble.
And that's about it.
Cool. Some good stuff there. I think hopefully you guys can use it. Before I go on any more, I do want to give out a hero point, and I want to give it out to James for enduring that grilling by Inspector Falcone last episode.
That was quite fun.
Yeah. So take that extra hero point, and again, we'll reboot every 4th ep. So we got this one and one more to go before we reboot them. Cool. So you guys are in the lair. You're back in. Hey, let me put this up on the map here. You guys are back in your lair. With the Jacobson sit in the sewer. You're probably arranged comfortably on couches and stuff around here. I made this as comfortable as possible for you guys, so it would be a pretty chill place to hang out. You're probably lit some lamps, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff to talk about, right? You guys just thwarted the plans of the Axes to wreak revenge on the 7th Ward, and you did so in a very public way in the last battle. So everybody knows there are a bunch of you who, 7 shapes, including the ghost. And there's some other stuff going on too. So I'm just going to boot it to you guys and see what you want to talk about and where you go from here. So let's set the scene. You guys are in this lair. All around you, there are trophies that Jacobson had of his pit fighting days. These very colorful capes and trophies, belts. There are heads of animals on the wall. There are rugs on the floor. And you sit in this dim light underneath a flickering oil lamp. What do you guys do? What do you say?
Well, I think Serafina has an adrenaline rush right now, and so she's probably not sitting. She's probably pacing around a little bit, letting that burn off from the battle.
And her talk with Kira.
Yes. So she's still watching Kira, but you're in pen form?
And Pen.
She's still watching Pen.
Let me get the pen token here. Go ahead.
But now it's a little more speculative, not so much suspicion, but just kind of like knowing now, oh, this is just a young adult, not a kid, but a young adult. She's maybe thinking of things a little bit differently.
Wow, she's such a good actress. Wow, she's so sneaky.
She's so good at keeping secrets.
Wow, I tell her everything.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So I know up until now we have kind of wanted to be inconspicuous, but I feel like we are very conspicuous now. What do we feel about that? Are we not going to try to hide what we're doing? I mean, I know we didn't ask for that, but it's very clear a lot of people saw us, and then we chanted, they waved, I kissed a baby. It's all happening very fast.
When'd you find time to kiss a baby?
It all happened fast.
Yeah, I thought you were mugging the bodies.
Well, it's happening fast. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to try to be quiet? Are we just kind of leaning into this now? It felt like the townspeople were supportive.
Well, up till now, I feel like we've been acting as a reactionary type of thing, where if the axes are trying to hurt the ward, we've kind of stepped in a protective fashion. We can keep doing that, or with the way that, we kind of ended up that last one, maybe we should start trying to take a proactive role. Perhaps we need to figure out how to put an end to the axes problem. I don't know if that means the axes, but at least find a way to, make this not be a we rush to save lives. Instead, we prevent it from happening in the first place. Or, I don't know, maybe we use this as a platform to get real change to happen in the neighborhood. Like, we can motivate people.
I certainly agree we should probably ride the high. I mean, don't let this early stages of fledgling momentum die.
Yeah, moments of momentum and, for lack of a better word, power come very rare. You should probably make use of them. It's almost I feel like that's an obligation.
What if this is how the axes started? Like, hey, maybe there was some force that the axes were trying to contain for our safety, and then it just was a slippery slope. So, like, yeah, we're defending against the axes because clearly they're the bad guys, but then we are now in a position that the axes were in previously. Like, at what point do we become the thing that we're fighting?
I think at the point where we extort money from our neighbors, that's probably where we become the axes.
Yeah, I stand we draw a line definitely not extorting people or public executions or hiring
Public beatings, yep.
Offsourcing gangs to come in and start just roughhousing. I think we can definitely step it back from there.
That's always been the problem with like a slippery slope argument is you have to draw the line somewhere, so draw the line. All we gotta do is, for at least now, draw our line. Like, we don't extort people. That's a pretty easy line to not cross. We don't purposefully hurt or try and teach lessons through violence. I mean, that sounds kind of silly after we just beat up a bunch of people, but it's a different kind of violence. Like,
Self-defense.
Well, maybe we need to figure out where we want to go, but let's figure out our destination. So, is our goal to build up the ward so it can protect itself? Or are we always going to be its protectors? I know for me, I think back, like, I'm in our grove, we had the best carrot soup that has ever been. This was mind-altering carrot soup. Now,
when you say mind-altering, do you mean
and is
like
that
it was
cannibalism?
really good, or do
I'm not
you
really
mean
clear
like,
on this.
no,
slushy
we're all
thing.
part of nature, and animals eat animals and all that, so.
Shepard's hyper-focused right now.
Well, I bring it up because, like, we had a rabbit problem. And the rabbits would come in and they'd eat the carrots, and everyone lived in harmony and all that jazz, but, like...
But nature is red in tooth and claw.
Well, that's right.
I don't know how familiar you're all with rabbits, but they multiply and they consume. And so we had a couple of families that come, our families are rabbits, and they were kind and everything, and they came in and they took their share, but eventually it came down that they took more than their fair share, and more rabbits came in, and we had to figure out a way that either give up our wonderful carrots and our wonderful carrot soup day every month, or we had to stand up and help nature along. And so the druids of the grove would, a couple would turn into bears every so often and kind of patrol the area, and it's stopped the rabbits from eating and taking all those things for a little bit, but they would still come back in after the people were done being bears. So, like, I'm sorry, I digress and go back into stories sometimes, and I don't mean to get long-winded with y'all, but is the choices, are we going to be bears, and whenever we're around, they're not around, or do we want to be someone that kind of finds a solution and saves it so that the rabbits don't take more than their fair share?
I think that we need to teach them to be, we should be self-sufficient, because as long as we rely on somebody else, we're kind of a prisoner to them. So I think the most freeing thing we could do is not make them reliant on us.
Nothing wrong with relying on other people.
Well, if you choose it and you ask, but not like, I'm going to make you rely on me, that's called codependency.
I think
Very unhealthy.
I think it would be in the best interest of the 7th Ward and its people to foster its strength. And its strength is in its people, not the brick and mortar not the...
I mean, to use your story, Bo, maybe the difference between us and the Axes is instead of us being bears, we learn how to build fences to keep the rabbits out.
Ooh, dang.
I don't know, I agree. We never did fences. We ended up just turning into rabbits. Well, actually, we kind of did. We ended up turning into rabbits and then kind of marking our territory. And then the rabbits didn't want to come in no more.
In this story, are we the rabbits or
Well, in my story, we were the bears because we're kind of like the guardians. We're the bears, but like they're just going to keep coming back in as long as they don't see us. Where, yeah, we need to mark our territory, or the ward has to kind of mark its territory.
So we pee on the streets.
I don't know. I wasn't part of that. I can't turn into anything other
Marth just keeps trying to not make eye contact right now about peeing on the streets.
I think there's
I had a
enough
thought,
pee
I
on the
didn't say it.
streets. So.
Well, how organized are we going to organize patrols of the ward? Starting out with us and then training people? Like, how structured are we talking? Or are we just going to observe everything and then just react when we need to?
Well, I think first we need to figure out what we're up against, because it's easy to talk about the Axes, but clearly there's somebody higher even up than that's telling them what to do, and they have a lot of influence in other neighboring areas, so maybe the answer will come to us as we find out more.
Well, and I can only assume...
In a future episode. Sorry.
I can only assume that the groups that they're going to invite in are just going to get stronger. And
considering that Bo just gave a great gardening analogy, I would like to at least contribute to the conversation that I do know there are some plants that only really grow after fire has ripped through the area. We can consider Yoald's business being burned to the ground, that fire, and we are now the gardeners here. We tend the garden, do what we can to foster its growth. We pull the weeds as needed, but we also need to give them the space to flourish. I don't think we need to be necessarily enforcers long term. We don't need to be the ones that the town relies on, but we should help them take their first steps towards independent and strong community.
I don't even think it's first steps. I mean, I think we all mean it when we say 7th Ward strong. These people know how to take care of things. I've worked with them intimately. What they need is room to breathe. And that's what they don't have right now, because there are these groups like the Axes that aren't playing by the rules. They're abusing those rules to keep them down. I've dedicated a lot of my life to playing within those rules to try and foster change and help every one of us get better, but when the deck is stacked, sometimes, you gotta change the rules. You almost gotta flip the table. And I think that's an opportunity that we've been given. So I don't think we need to make the changes to the ward. We just need to give the people of the ward room to grow, room to be able to make the changes themselves, to take care of themselves. They can't do that if the Axes are pushing them down, stifling them. That's not to say that no organization is bad. It's just, I think the group that used to help with that has now just become oppressors. And there's something about, like, trees of liberty and, like, blood of rebellion. Anyhow, this has been a dark conversation.
We also have creepy guy that is really obsessed with Serafina.
That's more clear cut, I feel like. That guy bad. We need to figure out what's going on with that, and we need to stop that before somebody else dies. Not somebody dies, somebody else dies. And that's something that I don't see the guard or the Axes or whoever taking care of.
I'd agree.
So step 5, make the ward strong. Step 1, take out the Axes. Step 2, definitely deal with that creeper of yours. Or do you want that to be step 1? Because, like, I'm cool with messing with the order a little bit here, because I know that I wouldn't like that if it were me. Oh, speaking of creepers, I got one too.
You've got a
I'm sorry, what now?
Oh, sorry.
Is that another plant metaphor?
Oh, no, but creepers are horrible. Man, they just take up all the space and all the nutrients. I digress.
Bo, when you say take care of the Axes, like, we're not going to be aggressive first, right?
Well, I think
maybe they'll choose to leave, but, like, These are people that live here too. These are 7th Ward members too.
Well, I guess the question is, are we taking a top-down approach and we're going to take out the heads and hope the rest disperse? Or are we taking the bottom-up approach and finding our way up until we clear them all out? Because I think, yeah, to your point, I think there's probably some less than knowledgeable individuals that are in the lower ranks that probably would just walk away if some of the bigger heads weren't making them do things. Like that execution that happened, like we have to assume that either A, they are fine with executing people and that's not right, or they weren't fine with executing, but they're just as complicit because they were helping in the action.
That's why we need to find out more information. Maybe there's just one top person and we just say, hey, knock it off. And they're like, okay, sorry about that. And they leave. Like maybe that could happen.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, I think we just don't know enough of the Axe's structure or goals or who's doing what with it right now. If there's, a way to get the Axes back into what they used to be, I'm told, before my day, maybe that's great. If, however, it's the entire group is now awful, well, then maybe it has to be pulled like a weed. Wow, are we just like the gardener group now? This is weird.
I find gardening to be therapeutic.
Anyhow, you have a creeper?
Oh yeah, this guy came by my store and he acted all nice at first and asking questions and hey, man, if you're gonna give me an ear, I'll give you an ear full. You know me. But he started asking more poignant questions to the point I found out I don't know if he's plant profiling, but he definitely is trying to put the finger to me as part of the gang. So he was asking a lot of very poignant questions about where I was during the Axe's execution and all that, and started calling me a liar and all that. And I don't know if he's a creeper or just an investigator. And he looks over towards like a real investigator.
Oh,
He did show you a badge.
Yeah, there was a badge even. Like, wait, do you have a badge?
What?
I'm sure that she has her own credentials. But so this person came and knew exactly who you were and was questioning specifically towards the events of that night?
Yeah, he was asking about the night and he said he had talked to everybody at Lady Ann and apparently our stories didn't match up, so I gotta figure out that. I'll talk to Vol when I get back to the shop and all that, but
This is really bad. You don't know this person?
Well, no, anybody can walk into my shop and buy wine.
Has anybody else been questioned yet?
Not I.
No, absolutely not.
I think there's enough of a difference between gesturing at the grapey face of myself, what I look like now versus what I look like when I'm vigilanteing. But I know he definitely was eyeing up my vines and all that. Not like that.
Ride the vine.
He did not want to ride the grapevine to the Congo line.
How many grape leshies are in the 7th Ward?
I mean, the gunslinger does not look at all like Bo, right? So leshies are a pretty common ancestry in Pathfinder, so they're probably a number. But yeah, how many grape leshies? Probably not that many. But the unnamed gunslinger, I think James right. It doesn't look like grape leshy, yeah.
And it's more of a mostly black with green hues, where Bo is more of a round, sticky kind of vine with green on the kind of the shoulders and stuff. And then yes, an entire grape face.
Well, that just added another thing to the start of our list, I think, guys. If there is somebody out there looking for perpetrators and they've made a connection to Bo, we need to find out who they are, what they know, where they're planning to go with that, or at the very least, we need to make damn sure that there's nothing pointing to any of the rest of us.
Well, his story is right by Jacobson's cake, right? Maybe it was just a coincidence. Hey, have you seen anything? You were right there. And then it maybe drew attention because the stories didn't match, so...
What if any of those stories mention the fox lady that they saw that night?
What?
If any of those store owners happen to mention that there was a fox lady, that can be another connection point. Or maybe they noticed that the store next door that sells potions was lights on, but nobody inside, and heard the owner yelling in the street. I don't know. I wasn't where you guys were at that time, but I mean, we had a lot of adrenaline going on. Maybe we've been kind of sloppy. I guess we're not exactly pros at this.
Well, to be fair, the first fight with the Axes, none of us expected that to happen.
Yeah, I'm not putting any blame towards any of us, but I think maybe we need to reassess, like, what might have happened, what might have been seen.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to head up Lotions and Potions if they're not doing it right now, unless he was targeting Leshies.
Planet profiling.
Plan profiling is a horrible, horrible crime as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, like, Penn, do you like live near there? Do you have a business on that street?
Oh,
Like-
fine, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Wow,
not.
she cracks under pressure. Like,
Let's hope Balcone doesn't find her.
I know. That'd be okay. There's just a lot of like secrets going around, and I recognize that it's not great to be in a party with somebody. Not that we're a party, but it is hard to do business with somebody that you don't trust. And I recently talked with Serafina and shared a little bit about myself, and maybe it's time to share that with you guys.
Oh, okay.
I do live in the 7th Ward, but I'm not telling you my address. Stranger danger. Can you guys just turn around quick? Just turn around, please.
Sure.
And she's looking at Bo.
Are you going to
Shepherd.
stab me? What is going on here?
it's okay. I know where she's headed with this. It's okay to turn around.
And I'll definitely take like 5 steps before turning around.
Do you actually turn around, or do just like the grapes kind of migrate to the other side of?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she's like asking for privacy, and I would be at least astute enough to that, like that it would be more of a turn and then like drop the straw hat in front of my eyes kind of thing.
Shepard averts his gaze and continues daydreaming about carrot soup.
Oh yeah, Marth turns around.
Kira would transform into, or Pen would transform into Kira. And, okay, all right, turn back around.
What are the axes stuck in here? Get her! I'm joking.
My name is Kira. That's my real name. Pen is just my business name. And no, I'm not an official investigator with like a badge and stuff, but we have to start somewhere. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say about it. What was your question again?
Kira, do I know you? I feel like I've...
Oh, well, actually, my mom works at Jacobson's Cake. Well, I guess she worked at Jacobson's Cake. I don't go there often, but, I mean, you've probably seen me around.
Who's your mom?
Blair.
You're Blair's kid? Oh.
Oh,
Please
All
don't.
is forgiven now.
My parents don't know any of this. I mean, rightfully so. They are not into the vigilante stuff. Please do not tell them. I would get in so much trouble. And they definitely don't know that I, like, do odd jobs.
So, your puppy form?
It's a fox.
Fox, sorry, I apologize. Who knows about your fox form before all of this?
Oh, I mean, like, we're kitsune. Like, everybody knows that we're foxes. I mean, there's other... I'm not the first fox you guys have seen in town.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, who knows your face? Because if they start putting wanted posters up and your mom knows your face, then that's going to be a real awkward conversation.
So most of the fights so far, like, have been kind of dim lit. I mean, really just this last fight was the one that a lot of people saw us. And actually, I think I saw my parents in the crowd. But I don't know that people are, like, I guess experienced enough to put a fox picture up that looks exactly like me. Most people are kind of ignorant to like my nose, see how it kind of goes that way a little, you know, the identifying features that my parents would recognize. I don't think your average person would recognize, but really this streak, and she gestures to her white streak in her hair, that's the biggest tell. But I've been working on a mask and it's going to help cover that. So,
Well, that's great. That took a lot of guts to share with us. Thank you, Kira. Or do you want us to call you Pen?
no, you please call me Kira, but if you do need to hire me for services, I'd prefer you refer to me as Pen.
Oh, absolutely.
Kira caves under pressure. Pen is very professional usually. This is just a lot of
We
big
totally
stuff
noticed.
happening. To be fair, my customers don't know that I've betrayed their confidence. Only you guys.
Oh, I mean, that's the important part, right?
Please don't share that either.
Of course. You're doing a great job.
You
Proud
guys
of
are kind of my first friend. I mean, besides Liam.
Who's Liam?
Diana's gonna cry in real life. Liam
Your boyfriend.
is somebody that died in
Oh.
one of the fights we had.
Wait, one of the axes was named Liam. This is the same Liam?
Yeah.
Well, this brings up the point I was bringing. Like there might be some good, honest young fellas and young ladies and people in the axes that don't know any better, or I hate to say it, but he was participating in an execution. Like,
he didn't know what he was doing, and that's why we can't just go fighting people when we don't know anything about him. I mean, you guys don't even know Liam. You don't know his family. You don't know anything about him. And now he's dead because somebody else probably told him what to do.
I don't mean to belittle this young man's death, but it would be ignorant to say he didn't know what the axes were doing.
Shepard, we don't know this Liam like Kira did, so we should probably just let that go for now.
Now, there's a real chance the axes may have something against him. Like, I know I put myself in the shoes of someone else isn't the most comfortable thing, but like, I know I wouldn't participate in an execution unless someone else's life was also on the line and it was choosing one or the other, and that breaks me down to my core thinking about something like that. So
yeah, but
let's assume positive
also
intent.
How old?
385.
God dang.
Wait, what's the date today?
I might have lost track over the last week.
It might be 386. I'm after a while it gets hard.
Is your birthday coming?
It might be.
Wow. So Liam, I'm guessing, is around your age?
Yeah, I mean,
which would happen to be what?
18.
How many decisions did you make that were great at 18? Or can you even remember?
Well, that's hard to say because, like, before. Wait, you mean 18 of this vessel?
You know what? Let's move on to another subject.
We were talking about moving away from here sometime, and he was saving up his money. He didn't get paid great money, but it was just a job to him. He would have never hurt somebody.
Well, I think it kind of helps us answer the question of we need to do a tops-down approach if we're going to do this, because sounds like either you've got some people mixed up in this, or they've got something on some people and they're forcing their hands.
By the way, I'm not going to be around tomorrow because it's his funeral, so you won't see me around here.
That's fair. Do you want any of us to come along?
I mean, if you want, but you didn't know him.
I'm not going there for him.
You know somebody else there?
You.
Well, and we know about a whole pile of axes that are going to be there. I'm not saying we cause a scuffle or anything of that nature, but it sure would be good to know our enemy. And if we know where they're going to be...
Maybe you guys should discuss that for a minute. Here, why don't you come over here?
She just kind of wipes at her eyes and walks over.
Hey, are you doing all right?
I'm fine.
I know. Look, I've lost people before. I know how much it sucks, but I also know how much it sucks to have other people, like, look at you the way everybody in this room is after that. So we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to worry about it. I just want you to know, like, we understand. We're here for you. Okay?
Don't know what it feels like.
I don't know what it feels like expressly for you, you're right. But I can recognize the feelings that come from people treating you different. So I'll try and keep that off of you, all right?
I think they're just looking at me different because I'm in my other form.
Very astute. Have you ever thought about using humor as a distraction before? I mean, what?
Coping mechanism. Thank you. I know you're trying.
Hey, you don't have to respond. You don't have to change anything. I just wanted to give you a minute to breathe.
Thanks.
No problem. So, hey guys, any thoughts? Are we gonna do some reconnaissance at a funeral?
I feel very uncomfortable by that. Can you find a way to be respectful about it? It just seems really invasive to be at somebody's funeral to spy on other people that were also their friend. Like, it feels really gross to me. I do feel like I'm gonna be sick.
Absolutely. Like, first off, you don't need to think about that at all. You're there for Liam. Whatever we end up having to do with that will not impede on anything that you are doing or on anybody else's feelings, I promise. And you don't have to think about it, okay?
I don't know if you put any thought to this, but what is your perspective on all this? Because the way I see it, he was either a really nice boy, and I know if it were me, I'd be mighty angry at the Axis for putting him in that position.
It's not all just boxes. It's not all like you're this or you're that, or you like this person so you hate that person. Like, it's not always just in a box that everything fits. And I just don't really want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
What do you guys want to do while we're there?
My thought is at least identify who is there and who isn't. Like, enough people come through my shop, and Seraphina, enough people come through yours. If we can identify who are the heads, if we can identify insignias that maybe would tell us who that is, if we know certain people that maybe just might be mixed up on this.
Are you guys going to be going, like, as yourselves?
I don't know, we might have to stake out that new plot that I imagine they're going to, because I don't know how far away we can be, or if we have to be incognito, or we should probably stake it out first.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on going to the funeral as myself, and I like to think that I'm pretty well ingrained in the community. I feel like it'd be important for me to at least show my face there. So, but I'll be honest, like, I don't think any of us should really be interacting with each other. I mean, if Seraphina's standing next to me, I'm not going to ignore her like, I don't know this lady. But we need to kind of make sure that we're not looking like Fingers McNabb, making all the eyes back and forth. Like,
Are any of you guys like really good friends with my parents?
They've come through the shop a handful of times.
made a lot of meal prep with your mom. We've talked about stuff, but I'd call us more acquaintances. She's great. I like her.
Just sometimes, you know, if you say hi to her, she might introduce me, but she calls me Honey Boo Boo, so just kind of disregard
Oh
that.
my god, I am going to talk
I
to
am
her
so sorry for you.
much.
Do you know if this funeral is open to the public? Did you receive an invitation, or?
I mean, my family did. I didn't see the invitation. It went to my parents. I didn't ask them if it was open to the public. I know why we got an invitation.
I only ask because, well, as someone who is homeless, we're often not welcome anywhere. Feel as if being anywhere near the funeral, the ceremony, I would
But
be shooed off in quite the hurry.
you more than any of us, and I mean this in a good way, fade into the background. People tend to not pay much attention to those that they don't want to think about.
Yeah, sad but true.
Yeah, much like the sword that I carry, it does have two edges to it, though. We often go unnoticed until people specifically don't want us there. So,
I mean, I think you could do good hanging out peripheries, kind of seeing, for lack of a better word, bird's eye, even though you'd be on the ground, so it's not really bird's eye, but it's seeing the. I think you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, if it starts to disturb somebody, we got other people.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I think we'll go. We know we're looking for stuff, and let's just leave it at that. Because this is maybe a little more than we can all handle after the events of today. Which, by the way, wow, those were some things. They started chanting at us. That kind of threw me off. I kind of clammed up there at the end. That was weird. I never clam up. Anyhow, I mean, I'm usually babbling, kind of like right now. And I would really like if somebody would just like say something so that I don't have to keep filling in the space for all this. But I can't seem to stop it.
Well, no, I think it felt great too. Like putting the vine up as like trying to calm, but also the kind of the stop hands kind of thing. It almost felt like a little bit of validation of the neighborhood wants us to do this kind of thing. And thinking about you not being noticed, Shepard, we may need to get you some kind of better mask because your patchwork one kind of worked in a pinch, but if we're going to fight midday like that and everyone's going to see us, we got to get you covered up because you carve a figure.
Yeah, it's a good point. Do need to be sensitive to not being outed too early here. We are starting a revolution of sorts. It is in its infancy, and it is the most vulnerable.
And this may sound foolish, but we also need to know what we can call each other, because if we're in the middle of a battle and Pen falls and I scream out, "Oh no, Pen!" We need to have some kind of monikers so that if we are in battle or we're in our, fighting forms and masked up and all that, we need to be able to talk to each other, and I'm not going to be yelling out y'all names.
It is a good point.
I have a question, and I don't want to pry, Marth, but speaking of being noticeable and calling attention, we haven't really talked to you about your little companion. I don't know what is an offensive term, but for lack of a better word, the phantom that kind of comes along with you sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Who's probably lurking over his shoulder.
She comes out of a corner.
You're just pointing behind his
Glaring
shoulder.
at him.
I'm sorry. We get caught up in a lot of stuff, guys. This is Arya. This is my sister.
Not your
Wait a
girlfriend.
second now.
Wait, what?
No, it's not my girlfriend. And yeah, okay. So Arya here's my sister. We got separated from our parents pretty early on with some trouble. It happens a lot to fledgling communities. And we ended up here. And Arya she's my big sister. She's always been there for me. She's always protected me. Somewhere, I mean, I was young. I don't remember things great, but somewhere along the lines, there's a night when Arya didn't come back, at least not the way that she used to be. But she's never left my side. She's still here protecting, and that's her. We recognize that, that might freak people out in normal daytimeness, so we kind of, she stays invisible most of the time around other people. But I mean, I guess I feel comfortable around you guys. She's just here. She's my everything. I'm sorry, Arya. I didn't even think about it. I'm so rude.
Hey, sounds like a lot of family trauma. Does anybody in town know about this? Like, is that a distinguishing feature about you?
No, nobody. I mean, the only person that might know, well, the only person that does know is a friend of mine at the orphanage that I grew up with. After Arya passed, I was too young to be able to kind of make it on the street by myself, so I got rounded up, and I ended up at the orphanage. And, it is what it is. I made friends, and then I did what I could to make the place better. But, yeah, my friend there, she actually runs the orphanage now. Her name's Sammy. She's hung out with Arya, like, most of her life as well. But does anybody else know about that? Like, no, we don't. I have enough attention that I don't want drawn to me. I don't need to have people out on the street being like, hey, did you know there's a phantom following you around? Like, and then I have to have this conversation, and then I have to get the looks that you're all kind of giving me right now, and that's not my favorite, I'll be honest.
So you guys all have secrets. It's not just me.
Everybody has something, and it's not necessarily secrets. It's just you don't always tell your whole life story right away to everybody.
Do you trust Sammy not to say anything? If, news of what happened in the
Do I trust
market
Sammy
square...
to not turn me into the axes? Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. And then I'm going to look at Arya in the eye and say, I'm very sorry for what happened to you, whatever it was. I'm very sorry.
Arya gives, a slight nod.
How much can we... I know, on the token, it's pretty shadowy. What can we make out?
So, Arya, for the most part, it's a lot like the shadow. Or the shadow. the token, where Arya's form, she can control how solid and real it looks, but it's always kind of just a shadowy silhouette with burning bright eyes that's you would assume her soul. Not saying that it is, but that's the eyes are the window to the soul, and she has big bright glowing ones that get brighter when she's pissed off, which seems to be a lot of the time. Fun fact, that happened before she was a phantom as well. So, and then Arya has kind of a simple cloak. It's wrapped around her head. It's more of, just a wrap, honestly. But yeah, look, man, I don't wear a lot of shrouds. I don't remember the name of those kind of things, but
is there feet?
If she wants. Most of the time, probably not.
Can
it takes effort to think about that.
Can we see lips or nose or any kind of outline?
Think very much like a shadowy silhouette. The more incorporeal she gets, the less detail of it you can see, but it kind of depends. If you're looking at her front on, then no, you don't see a nose. But if you're seeing her face and profile, it's there.
How does Arya react to us talking about Arya in the third person? Is she waving in the background, trying?
Right here.
Yeah, quit talking about me.
I mean, I guess John didn't realize that this was all being said out loud by Marth, but yeah.
But she is here with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Shepard would kind of give her a respectful nod and say, "We appreciate the blood you've shed with us and the protection that you've offered to not only your brother, but to us as well."
Yeah, you're one of us. And I'll pull a grape off my face and just kind of offer it.
She'll kind of float over, and she does have a hand, and she grabs the grape, holds it in the fingers, kind of looks it back and forth, looks at Bo, and you would assume from kind of a lip readingness that she is saying words of thanks or respect, What you actually hear sounds more like the distant howls of 10,000 lost souls, but I mean, that's just kind of, to be expected.
What does that sound like, John? Can you give us an example?
I don't think you want that. I don't want to make all of our listeners eyes start bleeding while they're driving to work.
Warning all headphone users.
Oh, I'm sorry. How old is Arya? Because my grapes are fermenting, so...
She would be of age.
Oh, okay.
She is my big sister.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Arya, can you eat, or does that go right through you?
100% why I offered the grape,
Yeah.
other than a sign of kindness. But there is definitely
Yeah, she goes to eat it. It just drops through her to the floor.
Arya turns towards, squeezes the grape.
So no.
Just turns to ash in her hand, wilts.
We'll take it a step further. Arya even then gets right up in Kira's face.
No offense.
Has kind of the intimidating aura that she often pulls off, and then she just tussles Kira's hair and flies back behind Marth.
Oh, is that a good thing?
She's marked you for death now.
If you look, she looks like she's giggling.
Kira grew a few more white hairs that day.
That streak is super prominent.
Yeah.
Well, not that I don't want to hear more secrets. I'm sure we all have some, and she kind of eyes Shepard's bastard sword. But I do need to get home, and now I can tell you why, because obviously I have a bedtime and a curfew, and so I gotta go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing with us. Thanks for being here.
And I'm an adult. I am an adult. I just am
absolutely.
Respectful to my parents'
we all know.
rules.
It's been very clear since day one that you are a full-fledged adult.
Okay.
Before you go, I would assume you would give them the details on the funeral, like when and where it is and all that stuff.
I mean, I don't have it memorized, but I do have the sending stone, right?
Yeah.
So when I get home, I can just ask my roommates the deets, and then I'll message you.
You can say your parents now.
Okay. Yeah. But I'll message you guys later on the stone.
So,
it says. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. It just alerts them where I am. I will tell you in detail.
Just say that you have maybe even have the invitation in your pocket.
I tell you in detail.
Yeah. So anything else anyone wants to talk about as Kira, after having passed on the information about the funeral the next day, do you guys want to talk about strategy for the funeral or anything before as she goes when she's not there?
Well, before she leaves, Seraphina would look at her not unkindly and say, Kira, I did know Liam a little. My mother treated his little sister, and he was always very kind when he came to collect with Utia. And so I really regret, and I'm really sorry that happened to him. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Her eyes are welling up with tears, and she's opening them wider because she knows if she blinks, they'll just start pouring over. And she nods her head and then just quickly turns around and leaves.
After she's gone, kind of turn to Seraphina. They're so, how we feeling about that? The investigator spying on you is also the local teenager, and...
The only one? Well, probably the only one now.
And not a very good secret keeper, I may say.
I think Diana should leave the room while they're having this conversation.
Kira feels a disturbance in the force, runs back in.
I think that girl got in over her head on this one.
I agree.
Absolutely. I think, can we all agree we need to kind of watch out for her, keep her protected, but hey, make sure, do not act like we're protecting her. She will flip out. I guarantee it.
I agree.
All right, go secret other team of pseudo parents. Woo!
I am not opposed to that. However, I would also ask that the rest of you keep an eye out for my daughter Echo as well, because even if Kira got in over her head, the consequences of this could be very real for my family. So I'm sure you've all seen her running around. She's, a subject of great gossip in the town because I'm such a terrible mother that I let her run wild. Also, she talks to everyone. So just please, if you see her in the course of the day, keep an eye out for her.
Sounds like we all have, most of you have loved ones here in the city or family. Would behoove us to watch out for each other no matter what.
Absolutely. Ooh. Can I be cheesy, guys?
Yeah. Consider Kid Club?
We're 7th board strong.
Are we doing that at home too, or is that just... That's just a public thing. You know.
Or is this a hands in the middle type of thing?
I mean, sure.
Is there a tattoo artist in the 7th Ward GM?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll get
Oh,
the,
yeah.
get the
It's
tat.
got to
You
be.
can get magical tats at some point.
Marth just starts breaking out all of his like icebreaker games from different like youth group.
And
organized
Seraphina
stuff.
leaves.
Remember,
Just-
stiff as a board, light as a feather.
Holly just quits the group. All right, so let's wrap it up there as you guys agree to stake out this funeral the next day and you head off to your houses through the dark, alone back to home. We'll pick it up there next time on the Minus 20 podcast.